Right, Jordan. Obviously, I've been reading up on the iPad, flicking over on the Athletic, and there's loads and loads of daily articles, actually, which are well worth a look. So remember, for everyone who's listening on the pod, this is our special offer. What is it, Jordan?
They've sorted us out a 7-day free trial and 50% off your yearly subscription at theathletic.co.uk/I had trials once.
Lovely jubbly. Right.
Get right on it.
Let's get into today's episode. Yes, Carlton.
How you doing, mate?
He's not come up on mine yet. I can't see him.
Oh, I've got him.
You see me?
Yeah, there you are. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, pal. How you doing?
Yeah,
I'm all right, thanks, pal.
Yeah.
Right. We just off camera there. We're just talking about some of the lads who we like mate around with and stuff.
Yeah.
And just the amount of runs that they're going out on. And one of our pals is a bit of a geek, isn't he, Jordan? He's a bit of a he likes going
weird.
fell running.
Fell
running.
What's that?
Literally just so like you just
running over hills.
runs up mountains and hills.
What? We don't have mountains in London. I wouldn't know what that is.
Exactly. Well, obviously it must be a northern thing. So I said to him, "We're right during lockdown.
Yeah.
I want to try and do like a long run, like a 10k or a 20k." I was like, "Have you any advice?"
Yeah.
He went. Well, I tell you what I do. I leave my house and I run 10k in one direction, and then I think, "Oh fuck, I've got to get all the way home." So I go.
That's the problem. See? I was looking at John Terry put something up on his Instagram the other day.
On the treadmill.
No.
No.
He was running. He was doing a family run, right? So it showed from one end to the other, and I think it was like 10k they done. But then it shows the pathway he does it. And then I was like, "How'd you get home from there? Like, you get on a bus or something? What happens there? Or do you get an Uber? Or do you walk?"
That's what I just said. I'm ringing a bird to come and pick me up.
You know, I'm just like, I've run too far. But,
that's what I mean. I like. I
just go around. I've got a park at the back of my house. So my garden backs onto the park.
Yeah.
You go into the park, right? And there's like a golf course right there. So I just run around that. Do you know what I mean? It's just easy. At least I know what I'm going. Do you know what I mean? I want to get
Have you been keeping fit then?
Yeah. I've got 2 boys in there, so I basically just.
How old are the boys?
8 and 11.
Oh right. Oh, so you can take them on the field then with you.
Yeah. So I take them now. Now we can take them on the field because obviously Boris.
That's it.
Dates for some days flying kites in the park and that now, so I could get the balls out. So
I tell you what,
do they play or not?
Yeah. The actually currently, because obviously I'm a coach down at West Ham Academy.
Yeah.
And I've just brought them in. But obviously they started their trial, and then it's just 2 weeks into it. They're
lockdown.
It's happened lockdown, yeah. So
they
have to start again.
What they like? Are they like the dad?
No, they're actually different. You got the youngest. They're both left-footed. Don't know where they got that from. Might have to ask the milkman or the postman. What's going on, mate? But they're both left-footed, and one's a left wing back, and the other one wants to be a striker. But I can see him as a 4-role. Do you know what I mean? Just a role. He's got a hard grip. He gets across the turf well as well. So
he's got a good engine.
Good engine.
There's decent money in that role now.
Yeah, there is, man. It is. It's a niche. So, we'll see what happens to them. No pressure on them. I don't know if they play football or not. Do you know what I mean? But that's what they want to do right now. So I'll support them any way I can.
Yeah. Well, how did all your career start then? Where was you as a kid?
Well, as a kid, I was playing obviously a school football. Then you play a state football. Because the area that I grew up knocked about with, there was like some good talent around. There's in West London in Brentford. and we had some good talent on the estate then. And then just knocking about them. Then you go and play school, get into the school football team. Then after the school football team, then you go, you do well at the school stuff, and then you go into the borough football, district football. In district football, I got scouted by Brentford at the time, playing at Brentford in the community. So I went down there first, and then I went to the School of Excellence just to go on trial. Didn't get in.
No way, really?
Nah, I didn't get in. And this is when Brentford had like League Two or something like that.
How old were you then?
I was about
high school.
Yeah, just turned 11, just probably about 11 years old.
Yeah. How tall was you then? Have you always been big?
Yeah, I was tall. I was tall for my age. Probably about the same size I am now. I ain't grown for 30 years. But to be honest, no, I was tall. I was taller than everyone else. I wasn't the same height, but then I wasn't as good technically then, because I was actually coaching myself, really trying to come up to the game. But my uncle was really a massive influence in my life back then, and he used to play a local team, but he was one of those guys that was well respected around the community in the area because he was so good at football. The only reason why I didn't make it, because he came from Africa, from Sierra Leone. Him and my mum came over because my nan was over here doing dentistry. So they came over, and then he was obviously a raw talent playing football and hadn't seen it. Because, you know, some of the African players, they got different techniques, you know what I mean? Like, just learn differently playing on the streets over in Sierra Leone. So I used to watch him like go to play and all of that, and I just used to see he was the man when he was like, everyone gave him the ball, great midfielder, had the legs, he was skinning players left, right and centre, and you just saw how much people loved him, do you know what I mean? And he was just like a part-time player, do you know what I mean? Not even really taking it seriously. So I was watching that as a young boy, and I was thinking, I want some of that, you know what I mean? He's the man around the area. That was my drive. I was like, I want to be like him when I grow older. Like, everyone would go to, after the football match, everyone would go to him, buy him a beer at the bar, you know what I mean? He didn't have to pay for anything. He was the main man. So he got paid. He was the main man, but he was getting paid and flipping, getting the beers in and all that kind of stuff.
Getting paid in beer tokens.
That's what I'm saying. Getting free peanuts at the bar and that. And but that's what I saw, and then I was like, I just want to be like that guy. So that's where my love came in for the game and the sport. And and then just one thing took. And then after that, I started obviously grafting. I used to go and train with my uncle as well, but I used to train with men. Do you know what I mean? And like, obviously his peers are like, I think I must have been about 10 or 11 at the time when I was 10, 11, 12. Just before I got scouted for Chelsea, and I went to one. I played in a training game with his whole team. He used to play for a team called CB United, and I was playing for my local team at the time as well. I was playing for a team called Walpole Wanderers. They're based out in Ealing, and I played one like practice match for him over there, and I'd done so well. And these were men I was playing against. So I thought, okay, I've set the bar now. I'm quite good at football. I'm not scared no more. But I skinned one player, yeah, and he was obviously older. And then he just took me out, right? Took me right clean out. And I was like the youngest on the pitch. I didn't know what was going on. And I started crying, right?
No.
You know, I was crying with these men. I remember it. And then my uncle came up to me. He just looked at me, he looked down at me, he just nodded his head like, he said, he goes, "You're not ready, man. You're not ready." So I said, and for my uncle to say that to me, I was so heartbroken. I was like, I'm letting him down here. So that's when I started to man up. Do you know what I mean? I felt like I've got to show I'm a man to play with these lot. So that's when I started grafting hard to try and get back up, don't cry, crack on. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the mentality started to develop. It's
like a Rocky Balboa moment, that.
Yeah. So then, obviously, I'm playing with men and I'm training with men at the same time. But when you're, then you go back to your own age group, and then you just got a different sort of confidence because you've been getting pushed and shoved around by men. So when you go to your own age group, it doesn't actually it doesn't phase you. Do you know what I mean?
Must feel far easier as well.
The right place.
Yeah, it felt far easier, and plus I knew how to start to use my body better because I was a big lad, and then obviously I was quick, strong, decent on the ball, could improve, but I knew that I had that to come.
Was you playing up front at the time?
No, I was centre midfield.
All right, okay.
So I was a box player. Yeah. I was banging in goals left, right, and centre, mate. I was the man. I was like Yaya Toure, mate. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I started off, and then obviously I got scouted in that position. So when we was playing the borough football, I got scouted in that position at so I used to go to a school called Chiswick, and then a guy called Bob Osborne, and obviously I was playing my Sunday League side, and my Sunday League manager was a guy called John Butler and Richard Butler, and they kind of used to take me to football to and from. Even when I got the trial, they used to take me to football to get to Chelsea, and the rest is history. But even when I got the trial, when I got to Chelsea, I was deemed. It was only later on I found out, but I wasn't good enough at the time. And then what happened was, so it was the last week of the trial. So I think it was an 8-week trial. Last week of the trial, a guy called Ted Dell, I think, and Ted Dell, Gwyn Williams, they was all a part of the academy there, and they was the ones that picking the players. And I wasn't really in there, like, they didn't really like me like that, do you know what I mean? But then what happened was, I just felt in myself, I was like, I just don't feel part of this. I got no confidence. I need something to help me. And I know this is the last week of the trial, and they've not said anything to me. Everyone's getting pulled left, right, and centre, saying, no, we'll give you something, come in for an extra 8 weeks or whatever it is. And they hadn't said anything to me. So for me, I started to get nervous, and I was like, do you know what? So my mum's like on a part-time job. We lived in a council flat in Brentford, and we didn't have money like that. Do you know what I mean? But what I said to my mum, I said, Mum, you got to do me a massive favour here. I know you ain't got enough money, but you're gonna have to find it. I need the Umbro drill top, the Umbro tracksuit bottoms. I need the socks, and I need some Quasar AstroTurf. I wanted these things, right? I was like, no, it wasn't even Quasar I asked for. It was the Umbro AstroTurfs I wanted, because I wanted it all to match. But they didn't have no Umbro. So we went to the First Sport, and I think it was First Sport at the time, whatever it was called. And they didn't have my size in the Umbro, so the only AstroTurfs that were left were the Quasars. So I was like, all right, they'll do the AstroTurfs, because I was actually training in trainers. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't really show what I could do in trainers. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone else had the AstroTurf. So I said, Mum, get me these, and I swear down, I would never let you down, and I'll pay your money back. Yeah, that's what I said. Out to Hounslow, got all of the equipment, and then that night put them all on. Mate, I felt like $1 million. Do you know what I mean? I felt like I was meant to be here. I saw the other players coming in; they was all looking the part, and I felt now I was a part of them. Mate, I had the best training session of my career to date, because they selected me, didn't they, at the end, and then my manager of my Sunday League team was there at the time, Richard Butler, and he was the one that was driving us to and from. And he said to me, he goes, Carlton, you're a lucky bugger. They was going to get rid of you today, and I don't know what happened to you, but that kit you got on, mate, it's turned you into Superman. You were scoring goals left, right, and centre. I don't know what got into you. And I know that you could do that, but I just want you to show it. Do you know what I mean?
It's a confidence thing, that, isn't it? It's just a mental thing.
Yeah, and listen, that's why now because I'm mentoring at West Ham, I'm seeing all that people come, these young boys coming from different areas, different background, different mentality. Do you know what I mean? Different homes, the different parents. You know what I mean? So I see what they're going through. So if a player's not doing too well at that time, I can kind of relate to it, so I won't say, he's not good enough. I'll say, okay, what's his circumstances? Do you know what I mean? So if your circumstances,
give him a chance.
Yeah, give him a chance. What's your circumstances like? What's your home life like? What's your schooling doing? Do you know what I mean? What kind of trouble? So you got to try and all of these things culminate into problems for a young chap to actually show what they can do. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of understand it, So that's why I kind of get it with these boys, and I can relate to them. So it's quite pleasing that I'm in this position now, so I can actually, all my experiences I can actually give to the youth.
That's brilliant.
If your mum didn't have the money to buy you them boots, even though she was obviously hard out, then you probably wouldn't have got in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these little things can make or break anybody's life. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine she didn't, because that actually gave me some encouragement. So I was like, I'm not going to let my mum down here. You know, you spent all this money on me, and
did you pay her back?
What's that?
Did you pay her back?
Oh, mate. I think I'm paying her back till this day, mate. It's a great investment for her.
Oh, brilliant. I'm going to say she's not still texting you. Carlton.
Yeah.
Still mate. Still
£7
Quasars.
You know what I mean? Listen, that 20 quid I spent on your Quasars, you need to give me that money back.
Brilliant. Yeah. But you spent 5-6 years at Chelsea. So you obviously kept on progressing. Yeah. Who were the players who were coming through at that kind of time?
Well, we had Leon Knight at the time. He was like the golden boy, wasn't he? And like, I'm doing my podcast as well, actually, and he's going to be coming on there. And I just want to know his path to getting to the top. But I think he should have gone even further, because I wasn't the best player in that youth team at all. But there was a drive in me that, and I got lucky as well. You got to factor luck and timing and all that sort of stuff in anybody's life. But I was there, right place, right time, took my opportunity. But coming through the ranks, we had some good players. We had some good players, but not the ones that actually went up. We had Jermain Beckford come through the youth there. We had Robert Hoof. We had Sebastian Knizel, but he didn't make it to where he should have made it either. We had Courtney Pitt, that should have made it further on, because I thought he was a fantastic player. Neil Barrett, that done all right at Pompey. So we had Lenny Pidgley as well, obviously. Goalkeeper went Millwall. He was a good player. But yeah, most of these players, it was nice to grow up with them and see it. But obviously, I went all the way to the top to play for England. So
brilliant.
It was eye-opening.
Right, Jorginho, our good friends at Beer 52 are still giving I Had Trials listeners the chance to get a free case of beer delivered straight to your door, which is obviously ideal in these circumstances.
Lovely, yeah.
It's usually worth £24, but the only cost now is $5.95 for delivery. So, what is the link?
The link is beer52.com/trials. Was there any big names in the first team at Chelsea, and did any of them help you, or any of them give you like stick and some initiations?
Okay, so now I know. I lost my train of thought when I was trying to answer the question. So basically, when I first got into the first team, we had players like obviously John Terry, Frank Lampard, Bolo Zenden, who else? Marcel Desailly, Zola, Heidegger Johnson, Hasselbank. Like, it's just a wealth of experience. But it was just one of those. Graham Lasso, Babiaro, just top
Babiaro.
Yeah. So,
what was Zola like? What was he? He must have done some stuff in training.
Mate, he was just a magician, mate. Like, proper magician. Like, he was one of those guys that if you just watched him, like, because what happens when you're training, he'll do something magical and stick it in top bins, then he'll go again, and every time you touch the ball, there was a meaning to it. So, like when I touch the ball, I know what I'm going to do next, but with him, he knows what he's going to do 2-3 times before he's even touched the ball. So where he's touched the ball is a meaning for that touch, to angle himself for something else. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So there was nothing ever off the cuff with a player like that. So that's when you just knew the levels. I was coming through. I was thinking, is this the level I've got to get to? I've got no chance. I hope it comes.
one of my mates was on a A license course with him.
Oh yeah.
And he was saying that he was doing a defending drill.
Yeah.
And he positioned the 2 centre halves. He had the keeper, had the fullbacks tucked in. And he said, I made the mistake of starting the play. I give it to Zola, and I went, right, play. He said he took a touch, dropped his shoulder, put it on his right foot, and bent it top bin. He said, and I was like,
it's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, he said I had to stop it because I was doing a defending drill. So he said, so he stopped it, and he said, I think my centre half was Tony Adams.
Yeah.
He had his centre half Tony Adams, and I can't remember who the other one was. And he's like, Tony, what you need to do is show him on his left foot. You know his stronger right foot. Drop all this kind of stuff. Play.
Yeah.
Give it Zola again. Zola went at him. Dropped his right shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
Bent it in the top bin with his left.
Yeah, exactly.
He said, I knew I had to stop the play again. He said, so I blew up again. And
England's best ever defender, Tony Adams.
He said to Tony Adams, what do you think you could do better?
Yeah.
He went, for you to stop giving the fucking ball to Zola.
That's what I'm trying to say, mate. That's a good story. I like that story. But listen, he was just phenomenal, man. Like, I swear, I had him at West Ham. He came as a manager, obviously later on down the line, he managed us. And basically, what he'd done, he used to get involved with our training, but our defense, like, was just getting overwhelmed with like his skill. He was putting like James Collins on his ass. He was flipping. You know what I mean? Like, it was embarrassing. So Craig Bellamy at the time, he had to tell him, listen, boss, you have to go to the office and boss, you can't train with us no more. Team morale's getting lower. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't like, you're showing Carlton Cole up. He's supposed to be your main guy, and he can't do half the things you can do. And then now we're looking at him thinking, why can't he do it like the boss? Do you know what I mean? So putting them up, immense pressure, so much pressure on the players. So you have to go in there and have a word. So that was Zola. But as I was breaking into that team, there was just so much quality around that field. It was just unreal, like, because I just learned so much in that little piece of time. So I just felt that I could always learn, and that was the main thing for me.
Yeah.
But the initiation, oh my God, the initiation that was I think was in the pre-season, and it was because you do it on the first away trip, didn't you? So the pre-season, and I hadn't made the first team yet, by the way. So I've gone away with the first team. I think we went to Italy, and what happened was, what was it again? I think I had to sing. You had to get on stage. Your stage is the chair, by the way, and then you had to sing. Yeah. And so I've had to get up, and I had nothing prepared. I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't even know about initiations back then. And then I just had one song that I'd listened to on the way to the training ground, and it was "I Believe I Can Fly" by R. Kelly. Now, I'm not sure whether that's to be released because of R. Kelly's shenanigans of late. But
I forgot about that.
But "I Could Believe I Could Fly" was my initiation song, and that went down like a pile of shit, basically. Because I can't sing anyway, and I didn't even know the words really. But it was hello.
Sometimes that's better though.
Yeah, sometimes it's better, but the boys helped me anyway. The boys helped me, and it was good.
Yeah, what Sed's doing? Has he still got his kids there?
Yeah. Mate, honestly, right? I've got a 2-year-old, and she's all over the house, like kicking a football. Yeah. This lad's going to be a ballerina. I can tell. I've waited all my life to have a lad. And honestly, it's going to be a ballerina. It's going to be what's his honestly, never mind. Right, go on then.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right, so you was loaned out to Wolves, Charlton, and Villa. Was that something you wanted to do, or was that something you was told to do, or?
That's a funny story in its own as well, mate. So basically, when I got loaned out to Wolves, Ranieri at the time was the gaffer. And
he said you was the best young player he'd ever coached.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. Apparently, yeah. But I didn't know.
So he said that and then
I didn't know whether he bullshitted me or what. Like, are you sure? But anyway, maybe he just liked me as a boy. But so I was always like coming in to training late. Yeah, I had punctuality problems. It was really bad. I've curved it just a little bit, but it's still there. You can feel it's in the air with me. But my punctuality was really bad at the time, and I was coming in half an hour late, 45 minutes late to training. And this is the first.
Why? Just always.
And this is my first. You can understand. This is my first time really being in the first team in the squad.
Yeah.
And I'm just not doing it. I'm not helping myself here. And so I'm coming in late, and then what happened was he's pulled me in. And he said to me, Coley, you've got to go out on loan. You're going out. I don't want you around the training ground. You've got no respect for the players. You've got no respect for me. You're going on loan for a month. And I was like, no, I'm not. I ain't leaving here. I said, make me. And then, mate, I got a phone call. I got a phone call from my agent saying, you can't come to the training ground anymore unless you go on loan. So I'm going, really? Is it that bad? Because I thought the gaffer was like BSing really. And he said, yeah. He said, it'll be good for you. Go out, go to, it was Dave Jones at the time. So Dave Jones rang me and he said, listen, I want you down here, Coley. It'll be a good experience for you. Just come and see how it goes. So I've gone down there, had a meeting with him, went up there with my uncle. And I said, you know what? I'll stay here for a month. At least I'm going to get some regular games in someone's first team.
Was that in the championship?
Yeah, it was in the championship. The year they actually got promoted.
Yeah.
And Wolves. So I think they got promoted. Was it through the playoffs or I don't know that season? But I think they got to some final anyway. And so I got promoted. So I went to that. What was it again? I was staying in some hotel, some seedy hotel up there. By the way,
in Wolves. It was mainly in Wolves.
Mate, it was shocking, mate. It was shocking. Like every night there was like some geezer having a fight outside. Or you go downstairs to the bar, there was some geezer just flipping. They was like kicking lumps out of each other. You know what I mean? And this is my first time I've ever been up north anywhere like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, my eyes were open. I was thinking, this is not me, man. I want to come home, man. But I started playing, done all right up there as well. I think I scored on my debut. In that team, we had Dennis Irwin, Paul Ince, Nathan Blake. Yeah, we had some good players in that team.
Paul Ince, what was Paul Ince like? I've heard different stories about him.
Incey, right. So obviously he was coming to the end of his career.
Yeah,
and he was obviously renowned for a hard man, wasn't he? Like,
yeah. And the governor.
But I knew that he couldn't run anymore like he could do back in the days, in Man United days and all that. So, like, everyone would do his running for him, but he was always moaning at me. He was really moany. Like, and I felt, why is this geezer moaning at me all the time? It's getting on my nerves, like. And I've got some mad respect for this guy, but he's making it hard for me to like him. Because he's always
just trying to help you.
Nothing was ever his fault. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, there's always a player like that.
When you get older, obviously, now I know what it's like. When you get older, like, you're expecting the younger lot to be doing a bit more extra running, you know, because I can't really do it. But you won't say that I can't do it, but you'll just know that you can't really do it. And you'd moan at somebody else, why didn't you move there? Oh, that misplaced pass. You should have been over to the left a little bit, do you know what I mean? Always nitpicking, and it's not even your fault, but you got to just take it on the chin because it's Paul Ince, isn't it? So that's the way I perceived him. And he was all right. Off the field, he was all right, but he just got on with what he wanted to get on with. But Dennis Owen, I used to love Dennis Owen because he used to give me bits of advice here and there. And he wasn't lonely at all. He just got on with his game and just cracked on, really. So it was a great experience playing with those sort of players.
Brilliant, brilliant. So you obviously got promoted, you say, end of that season.
Yeah, so they got promoted. I'd come back home.
Right, okay.
I got called back because there was an injury to one of the strikers. I think it was to Ida Good Johnson at the time. And I came back, and straight away I had to go with the first team up to, I think it was Sunderland. So I've got
who were the strikers at the time? Like who were you trying to compete against then?
At that time it was
Good Johnson, Hasselback,
Zola.
Oh, struggling.
All the best.
Jeez.
Mikel Porcel.
Yeah.
Mutu.
Yeah, there was some really like top strikers there at the time. And
good to learn from though.
Oh yeah,
must have been.
So that's what I was learning. I was learning my trade. So when I came back anyway, what was it? I think I didn't start that game. But I came on against Sunderland, and then there was a ball that came into me, and I've span, and I can remember what I'd done. The ball came into me, and I think we was 0-0 at the time, and we needed a goal. We needed to win the game. Ball come into me. I've span. I'm outside the box, and I've whipped it with my left foot. Goal, yeah. But what it was, when that ball come into me, I heard Jimmy saying, "Coley, round the corner," yeah, and I hadn't done it. I went round the corner just to myself, and then I done it myself, yeah, and I put it in. And Jimmy's a moany person as well. If you don't pass him the ball, yeah, when he wants it, he's having a go. So I was like, Carlton, you've made this decision here. I know it was spontaneous, but you've not passed it to him, so you better get this on target, mate. you think fast in your head, so I've done it.
Yeah.
Bang, whipped it in, goal. Celebrated. After the match, I think we won the game 1-0, whatever it was. After the match, I just knew, because Jimmy didn't come over and celebrate with me straight away, but it was a reserve celebration. It was like, you lucky cunt kind of thing. Because if you didn't score that goal, because what are you doing? You're not even left-footed. Why are you shooting from outside the box anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, what kind of decision was that? But I got it in. So when I looked at the replays, I've gone back home, as you do when you're young, watch Match of the Day, and I was like, they've done it in slow-mo. But when you can see him saying, round the corner, and I hadn't done it, and you just saw the disgust in his face, like, and it was in slow motion, right? So I was just laughing to myself, and that was a Match of the Day later. I was just like, this geezer, he's unstoppable. He's always.
You say it like it's so normal that you can go home and watch your game on Match of the Day. Like, was you just that used to it then, or is it just now you're used to it?
No, I'm still appreciating just being there, mate. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. Yeah. When you get thrown into the deep end, you don't really look like, when you get thrown into the deep end, you're in the public eye, and you know where I've come from. I've told you where I've come from, and it just happens like that. You just take every day as it comes, and then you're not. Like, I was my biggest. I was my biggest critique. You know, I'd always go home and I'd just analyse myself. How did I play? My uncle would always analyse me, and he was always my biggest criticizer. He always criticised me, not in a bad way, but in a good way, so I could improve. So I didn't care about what anybody else said. I always cared what my uncle said, because, as I said, he left an imprint on me from a young boy. When he looked at me, he gave me that look, and I always never wanted to disappoint him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's always been in my head. You know what I mean? Like, he's living in my head rent free. So when I was so every time I played, I'd come off the pitch. Whether I've done bad or whether I've done good, I'd only go for his opinion. So that's
did he always come and watch you?
Yeah.
Did he always come and watch you?
Game.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he always watched every game. So that's why he's like been one of the main guys for me. And he took over from Richard Butler, to be fair, because Richard was at every game. He was my manager, my Sunday League manager. I won everything like at that level with him. Yeah. So he was like my mentor too. So other than him, because they always say, like, your coaches are your coaches, right? But you've got some silent coaches as well that no one actually notices. And whether it be the player that you usually play up against in training, like your mum, your family background, whoever's around you in your family, your agent could be your coach nowadays. So you always got silent coaches that don't get any plaudits. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
my uncle was the silent coach behind the scenes that I always got mad respect for.
Yeah.
Was you round about this time? Was this when you was in like the England squad, under 21s, kind of?
So when I got into that first team, then I started to get recognised by the under 19 squad.
Yeah.
England under 19. But before that, I was supposed to go to Lily. So before I got, it was like under 14s, under 15s, under 6. I was good. I grew in stature quickly, kind of thing. I got the hang of football quite quick. So I was supposed to go to Lillishall with the likes of Jermain Defoe, Leon Knight at the time, some good players there at the time.
We had Curtis Woodhouse on. Sure, he was around there.
Yeah. He was around there, doing the Lillishall, doing all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Because I remember years ago.
What's that?
Years ago, if you got picked for England, that's what it were. You'd go down to Lillishall and you'd literally go from 100 lads and 80, 60, 40, didn't they? That's how they used to do it.
Yeah, that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
So
I got into the 100.
Did you get to the 100 club? You were the 100
That was
club.
it. That was it. Didn't get any further. It was.
So how old are you then? How old are you?
I am 39. I'm 40 in a week.
Okay, so you was like really about, because I'm 36, gonna be 37.
Yeah, a bit younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I came the year Lillishall closed down. So that's what
right, okay.
I was supposed to go to Lillishall, but I didn't get to go because they closed it down that year. I think Jermain Defoe and Leon Knight's year were the last years. And Neil Danz was on there as well, and a few other players. But then obviously after that, then I didn't do schoolboy England. I got to the under 19 England when I finally got to the first team. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Who were the lads in the team and coming through at the time, the 19s?
So we had John Stead. John Stead was there.
Yeah.
John
Stead.
You played against him, Jordan?
Yeah, beat him.
John Stead, he was my rival. Then we had Dean Ashton. Dean Ashton was there and abouts. Who else did we have? Michael Chopra.
Yeah.
Michael Chopra.
Yeah. Nagyelka.
Yeah, Phil. Big Phil.
Big Phil. I think Matty Dawson. I think
player.
Yeah. We had some good players at that level, man. But everyone was coming through, but I just can't remember. There's so many players coming in and out of this England squads. Darren Bent as well. You know what I mean? Darren Bent was always banging goals for Ipswich at the time. So we had always good players at that level that made it. So it was quite good. Kilgallen, do you remember Kilgallen?
Yeah,
Kevin Kilgallen.
Yeah, played for Leeds.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had some good players at that stage.
So what I most remember you for is your time at West Ham.
Yeah.
And you went for an undisclosed fee. And it's pretty much where you made your name, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So when I first joined West Ham, obviously I wanted to get more first team action because we just won the league for Chelsea, so Mourinho had come in by now, and I wasn't getting much game time, so I'd gone on loan from Charlton. I went on loan Charlton and Aston Villa. So I wanted to get
Mourinho like.
Mourinho's top, man. It's top geezer, very innovative. Like he's got his own ideas. He came in like his first training session. I'd never seen this before in my whole entire life. And his first training session was with the balls. So usually you're training without the balls, innit? When you come into first day training session, you come in, you just get your trainers on, didn't you? And you just go for a run around the pitch, doing laps.
I can't be asked with him.
Yeah. So with him, when we came in, we just saw loads of cones all set out, all organised out on the field. You know, there's fresh grass. You just can't wait to get out there. But you just know you're going to run first. But he came in, sat us down, saying, this is the way we're going to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to do ball work straight away. So we've done loads of ball work. But don't get me wrong, it was disguised running. But at the time, you weren't registering actually working. So he brought that philosophy into our minds, and I think into the whole of football, really, in England. It changed the face of it because he had his own way of doing things, and he came in, football's out first day, and then we always done football, man, and that's what you want to do as a player. So obviously he changed the mentality, and he's a sports psychologist, man. He'll get the best out of you in different ways where other managers had never done this sort of stuff before. So he was unreal for me. So yeah, we'd won the league. That's not that season. The season after, I'd gone out on loan a couple of times, obviously, and then I'd gone to West Ham, and like when I first got, it was Pardew that bought me, and he's gone over to me. He's gone, listen, Carlton, all of these players. So at the time, we had Dean Ashton, we had Marlon Harewood, we had Teddy Sheringham, had someone else as well. So Marlon Harewood, Teddy Sheringham, Dean Ashton, Bobby Zamora, obviously. And then I was coming in as fifth striker, but Alan said that he was going to get rid of two, so I was going to be one of three because he was going to play one up front. So I was like, okay, I'm coming in, but me being stupid got tricked. So I didn't know that he was actually going to retain all the strikers. Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Or he couldn't get, because doing a transfer is not easy, as you all well know. So I thought, if I come in, it's going to force somebody out. Do you know what I mean? At least one, and it didn't. And so then we was left with five. But by the end of the window, we'd acquired Tevez and Mascherano. So Tevez came in as well. So there was six of us. I'm thinking, I'm never going to play now. Like, what the hell is this? You know what
decent as well, Tevez.
Six strike, decent, bloody hell. But I was like, I'm just not. But in myself, I thought, you know what? Let me just hang in here and let's see how weather this storm and see what happens. And graft. Yeah. The first year it was the Great Escape, if you can remember that. Where Tevez, we had a good run. The last 5 or 10 games, we had to win like 7 of them. And like we got out of it, and then that's when it kind of, because and then Alan Pardew got sacked halfway through that season, and then Alan Kirbishley came in. And
remember him.
And then I played a few games, but it was scarce for me. I didn't have much influence on that team at that time. So what happened was the next season, so after the Great Escape, when Tevez done a worldie for all of us and got out of that situation, not just Tevez, Bobby Zamora, Marlon Harewood, everybody was involved. The whole midfield were done well that season, but we should have never been in that scenario. But the next season was my season, basically, when they needed me. That's when we brought Craig Bellamy in. We had a few other players come in, Kieran Dyer, Lucas Neal. We had a few good players that came in at that stage. And, we done okay after that. And we just, that's when I started to build my reputation, getting into the team. I think there was a load of injuries as well, so they had to rely on me. And then I just done my part. And that's when I started building my name.
Yeah. How did it feel then, breaking in? After, obviously coming,
it was a relief. Yeah, when I first come in, I just saw no path. I was going to go to Derby on loan and probably a loan to buy it. So that my career would have taken a totally different path. But I felt I got to stick in there. Obviously, I played around quality players from when I was young, so the names didn't really affect me to say I can't get in there. But I just knew the chances were going to be lower because I was still a young player coming through.
Did you change anything that you were doing? Attitude in training?
My attitude to life changed. Some stuff. Look, in anybody's life, things happen off the field that can actually dictate where your path goes on the field. You know what I mean? So I had something happen to me off the field where I wasn't being managed correctly by my manager, my agents and all that sort of stuff. And it put me kind of in a predicament where I had to kind of go out and say, no, my only way out of this mess will be to play football the best I can. So that kind of spurred me on to protect my family, do you know what I mean? And protect everything I've done till that date. So that kind of changed my mentality on how to graft and how to really want to get something out of the game. And that's when my life kind of changed on the field, because I started to realised the pressure that wasn't really pressure, it was more responsibility. So now I have to change my mentality to be more responsible, to be someone that could be relied on. So that's where I started to gain a bit more self-respect. And once you respect yourself, you start to gain respect from your peers as well. And then that's where I started playing games regularly, and I was doing the job. So that's where I started to grow in that season.
Brilliant.
Training on time.
Yeah, getting to training on. See, these little things, as I was saying, when you get to a certain level, you can't be doing that because you've got to be reliable. You've got to make sure. But to be fair, I say that, but I was still coming in late. You know what I mean? But people by then knew that I didn't mean anything by it. Do you know what I mean? It was just Carlton. He doesn't get it.
Carlton.
Do you know what I mean?
Carlton. Come on. Let's have the truth here. Really, you went out to JD Sports, you bought an adult size Umbro tracker and some brand new Quasars, and you was on it.
I was bang on it, mate. I thought, you know what? I've got these brand new Quasars. I'm back on it, mum. Thank you. I told my mum to buy it as well.
So, which come first, the season? The relegation season with Abraham Grant, was that one of your first seasons?
No. So basically that season. So after Alan Kirbishley, we had Zola coming, didn't we? And then that's when I started. When Zola came in, that's when I started to break into the England team.
Yeah.
I was playing regularly, and just getting the games. As I said, I feel like I'm responsible for what I put on that pitch now. The players rely on me, the fans rely on me, I'm the main man now. Obviously, we had a big injury happen to D Nation as well at the time. Great player, and he should have gone on to be bigger than what happened to him if it wasn't for injury. But obviously, I had to kind of fill that void because he was our record signing at the time, so I had to come in and fill that void, and I done okay. And that's when I started getting into the England national team, getting recognised with Capello. He used to like me, and then I'm playing regularly now in the first team, and I'm now like the first name that gets put on the sheet to go out in the first. You know what I mean? So then after that, then obviously we got the David Sullivan, David Gold coming, and Karen Brady obviously, and then we had a new takeover. And they wanted to go a different direction. So after that season, when I'd done so well with Zola, they wanted to go a new direction. And I was like, wow, so where are we going now? And it was Avram Grant that came in. And that didn't go down too well that season, as you well know now. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really a great appointment at the time. Although he was a great man.
How did that go with the players, though? Because obviously, like Zola being your manager, you know, obviously the stuff that he does in training and, you know, the way that he is, you know, for your club then to get rid of him and bring in someone like Avram Grant, was it straight away the players didn't take to him, or was it just a disappointment of Zola going, or?
It was a mixture of both. No, I wouldn't even say it was a mixture of both. I'd just say that we was going in a direction. We really believed in Zola because we loved the style of play we were playing. I think the season before, we'd scored a goal up at Wigan, and that is what people say the West Ham way is, where it's pass, move, and then I was at the end of it, and I'd done a nice finish at Thierry Henry. Don't know what got into me. But that was the sort of football we were practicing in training, and we were practicing it in matches, and we were doing really well with it. Had Scott Parker playing, we was playing amazing at the time, Martin Noble, Jack Collison in the midfield. We was playing some proper stuff, do you know what I mean? And when all of that happened, it was we felt good with the manager. We thought we could grow into the next level. And then it just didn't work out that way because they came in with different ideas and they put Avram in. And the way we felt about that, we felt a bit like we've got some unfinished business. We've only just got started and getting used to Franco now, and Steve Clark as well was the assistant manager. Do you know what I mean? And we loved the way that our training was unreal all the time. So we was like, why would you kind of like do that to us? Because we're building something here. And that didn't go down too well with the players. But then after that, obviously you're just players. You crack on, didn't you? And then obviously Avram got announced. And Avram at the time, because he just managed Chelsea as well, he was a big name. Do you know what I mean? Got Chelsea to the Champions League final as interim manager. And then we just knew that he was a big name, but we didn't know what he'd work like. So we gave him a chance. But then we just found that it wasn't working. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't.
What were the differences?
He just wasn't inspire us like the way we're supposed to be inspired.
Did the training change? Tactics and how it...
Yeah, the way he wanted to play and all of that sort of stuff. I just didn't see. There was no direction for us at the time. Do you know what I mean? And it's only now, hindsight, I can say that because now I know a little bit more about managing and coaching. Now I know a bit more because I do all my badges and that now. So I just don't think he had the skill to actually implement his style of play, whatever he wanted to do in training for us to go and put it out on the pitch. So we just didn't have that direction, and that's where we went wrong. And then obviously players started.
So what they did is they went and got Sam Allardyce in.
Yeah. So after that, so we get relegated, and then obviously Sam Allardyce comes in, and he wanted to get rid of me straight away because he just didn't think I was up for the task in the championship. He's Carlton Cole's chocolate, mate. He ain't gonna be up for this scrap. You know what I mean? So he wanted to get rid of me anyway, straight away, and he brought in another player, I think Frederic Piquion, to replace me, and he came from France at the time. But I said and I had offers in the Premier League, a couple of offers, good ones as well, and I could have stayed in the Premier League because I'd scored. I didn't do too bad the season before with under Avra. I actually scored a load of goals, and so obviously I was in a good place, and the teams wanted to buy me. But I said I just can't go out like this because I actually love myself, love playing here. Do you know what I mean? I love the fans. I've got an affinity with the fans. I've got loads going for myself here. I've got my house, my family's down here. I'm comfortable. Anything north of the Watford Gap, I start getting a nosebleed. You know what I mean? So I was thinking, I can't go up.
Yeah, you don't want to go back to Wolves.
You know, I don't want to go up north. Really, I'm just not gonna. I didn't do too well on my loans up north, Aston Villa and Wolves. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, I'm not doing that again. I'll probably, if I'm going to go up there permanent, it's going to be worse. So I'm just going to be a flop. So I wasn't really confident going up north. So I said, you know what? I'll take a pay cut and I'll stay here. What do you say, Sam? And he's gone, that's decent, that. So then I felt like I was wanted again. Do you know what I mean? Because that was...
Because you was on less money. He's
wanted. I was very funny, so you take that, you know what I mean? Getting an England player on less money, and it's like, he's happy days for the club, innit? So I've done that.
He lives about 5 minutes from me, Sam.
Oh, is it? Yeah, he's top man.
I always see him in Oysters having a drink, so next time I see him...
Next time you see him, just say you spoke to me, and I spoke highly
of him. I will do.
Yeah.
I will do.
Because he's a top man, so after my career, I've had dialogue with him as well. So for me, he's one of the top geezers. Although that he done me bad in my career, I don't mind him away from it. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's top man. But what it is, I got to obviously that season we done well. We actually should have won it, but Reading had a massive season that year. They were late runners, and then they took our second spot. And then they won the league at that year, but they had a late run in that year. And we went into third place, and then we had to go through to the Premier League through the playoff finals.
But you won it, yeah.
What a way to go up, though.
Oh, yeah. Listen, they always say if you're gonna go up through the playoff finals because it's a massive day for the fans. It's like not every day you go out to Wembley, you go and win it as well. It's bad if you lose, but if you win it, it's unreal. Do you know what I mean? I've been lucky enough to experience such a way. And I knew what was riding. It was a high-pressure game. It was like, I think at the time, it was about 60 million on that game. And
wow.
And all the players knew we had to win that game. Do you know what I mean? Because it was... Otherwise, the West Ham would have gone the other way because we couldn't do another season in the Championship. We couldn't do it financially. We had too many players.
They've got to have some of the most passionate fans in the Premiership, West Ham. Yeah,
definitely. Like, mate... West Ham fans are no mugs. Like, if you're not look, they love the skill, they love all of that, they love a flair player, yeah, definitely, because that's the West Ham way. But if you've got all of that and you're not putting in the work, yeah, they'll figure you out, mate. You know what I mean? Like,
and they'll tell you as well, won't they?
Yeah, they'll give you a hard. I've had so many. When I first went to West Ham, I tell you, when I first went to West Ham, I said the wrong thing to the press. So when I came from Chelsea, obviously, I said to the press, and I always say it to us, I've admitted it before. I said, well, I'm going to use West Ham as a stepping block to get back to the top four. Yeah? Hey, that went down like a shit sandwich, mate. It was so bad. These are the times where I just didn't get it. I was just a bubblehead. I was an airhead. Like, I didn't have no experience with the press or whatever. I'd said what I feel at the time, and even if it wasn't like that, I'd say it in the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? It just come out all rubbish. So they already had something against me because they read that quote. So every time, and on top of that season we didn't do too well when I first came. So then every time I touched the ball, they'd boo me. And my own fans would boo me, do you know what I mean? It was just it just didn't go well for me. But what I dug in, that's what I'm saying, I dug in and I turned it around, do you know what I mean? And that's where they saw that I ain't no slouch no more. Because what it is with West Ham fans, if you work hard, and you go and bleed and you go and die for your cause, well, not die, obviously, but everything out on that field, they can sense that and they can see it, because that's the least they would do. Do you know what I mean? So as long as you do that for them, they'll embrace you with open arms. You know what I mean? And on top of that, obviously, I took the wage cut and all that sort of stuff. So we just bonded especially after the playoff final. Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah. Oh God. So what's
didn't Allardyce block you a move or something?
That one.
It's on like deadline day.
Yeah, that one was quite funny actually. So I've been told, because obviously this is the second time I came back to West Ham, so they got rid of me because I told you Allardyce has always wanted to get rid of me. He's always wanted to get rid of me. So what it was, I didn't get a renewal. So I was out in America, and I came back, and there was that deadline day, and then I came back from America, and then West Ham hadn't signed a striker, so I re-signed, and I got fit, and then I played again. So then I signed another 18 months. So at the end of that year, that was in January I signed. That was like obviously 6 months. Then I'd done, when it was coming up to the January window, the next January window, halfway through that season, that's when West Brom came in for me. And I thought the deal was unreal. I've only got 6 months left on my contract and they wanted me straight away, and West Ham done a deal with them to sort it out. And so I'd gone up to West Brom, done my medical, everything on deadline day, by the way. Deal was good for me, deal was good for the club. And then Allardyce got a phone call from the chairman, goes, we can't replace Carlton, so you need to call him back. So obviously I'm there, I've done my medical, I'm up at the training ground, and I'm getting a phone call from Sam. And he goes, Carlton, sorry lad, you need to come back home.
Oh no!
What? I think it's like 11 o'clock. Deadline day is coming up. It's like we was waiting. I was thinking, why haven't they sanctioned it yet? I should have signed by now. I'm flipping gone home. And then I just knew something was up in the air. So I got a phone call saying, listen, it's not happening. And then Tony Pulis came into me. He's gone, Cole, it's not happening, mate. You're gonna have to go back. And I've gone, what? I've picked up the phone to Sam, and I've had a rant, mate. I've done it in the canteen at West Brom, and I've just gone ballistic. And then he probably put his phone down like that, and it's like, I'm not hearing that tush. Do you know what I mean? This geezer's having a proper right on me. So I've said, you know what? I've swallowed it. I've gone. We've driven back down to London, and I said to Sam, listen, mate, I'll never ever play for you again for what you've done to me. Yeah, that's what I said to him. Yeah, and then I didn't go in for a couple of days, did I? And then I've obviously calmed down. He's phoned up my agent. He's gone, get Coley in.
Yeah, probably not Sam's fault either.
Yeah, it weren't his fault. And then obviously Mark Noble phoned me. Kevin Nolan phoned me. Says, Coley, come in, man. We need you, man. Flipping out that. I was like, no, I'm not coming in. I've told him I've never played for him again. I can't go back on my word.
Bored out your head
I
at
want to
home.
come back. I want to come back. But yeah, so that's what happened. So I ended up coming in, went straight into his office, had a little word with him. I said, you know what? I'm going to try and be as professional as possible. I'm going to do my best as I usually do, and we'll forget it. But I'll tell you what, the dressing room banter, I was getting coated, mate. Like, it's like, oh, you're back again, are you? Oh, you're never coming back again. You know
yeah.
It's the worst because you can't say anything, but you're angry about it.
They was having bets on what day I was going to arrive because they knew I was coming back, but they didn't know what day, innit? So I was like, oh.
Brilliant. Who was some of the wildest characters then in that dressing room? You must have had some decent nights out around London with some of them lads.
Oh yeah, you've got some wild. Who did we have in there? We had loads, man. At the time, who would I say that was wild?
Was there not a story where someone give you some vitamins?
Oh no, that's different. That was like on the under 21 tour with England.
Right.
Yeah, go on, tell us about that.
Okay, so now Jermain Defoe and Jermaine Pennant, they were live wires in that camp. But Jermain Defoe was the sly dog. He's the one that always done something and got away with it, and then leave someone in the shit. You know what I mean? He was that sort of person. And so the vitamins one. So no, that wasn't even England under 21. Sorry, I'm mistaken. That was when I got into the first team, England. Sorry, and then we played Holland away. And
my internet was
So we was in Amsterdam, and then obviously was going out to train, and we had the game the next day. And then as we're going out to train, like usually sometimes the sports scientist guy gives us a little thing of tablets where we've got vitamins and all that sort of stuff that we need to boost our immune system or whatever we need to do. And so I'm thinking, so they've put this blue pill in there, and they put the other stuff in my vitamin thing. And so I'm thinking, this is definitely, I've never seen this blue pill before, but I didn't check anybody else's to see if it was like, so I've taken it on the bus, and everybody, because obviously I was last on the bus because I'm always late, so I didn't know what was going on. So I've come on the bus, they've given me my tablet thing, and I've taken all of the tablets that were in there, and everyone just starts laughing. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why is everyone laughing? I'm not in this joke. So I'm like to everyone, what happened? What's everyone laughing at? Like, what's everyone laughing at? Like, so I'm thinking, they've done me here again, didn't they? They've done something else to me. Like, I'm thinking, and the gaffer wasn't involved. None of the staff were. They didn't know. But it was just the players, and everyone's laughing, just creasing up. So I sat down, and then Jermaine's come and sat next to me, and he's gone, Coley, how you feeling? I'm going, what do you mean? Mate, you just took one of those Viagra pills, mate. I go, what? I said, who's done that to me? And I was like, will I die from it? Will I die from it? How much you give me? Because I was just thinking, mate. So anyway, we got out to training, and I just feel this, because obviously I was wearing some tight shorts, innit? So I'm just starting to feel my knob getting a little bit aroused, like.
Oh no!
It's just one of them ones. I was like, oh mate. So I was thinking, you know what, this is just not going down too well. But I actually can't remember too much of it. I just remember I was just so embarrassed, and I was just like that half of the time in training. That's all, because we had the press day. It was on press day. It was the day before we were actually going out to play Holland. So that's press day. So obviously I've got a hard on in press day, and I don't want them to see my knob, like, so I'm just like that, trying to cover it up.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Imagine so.
I missed it because of my finger.
I'm sure I've seen a quote that it said that you trained really well because you had three legs to run on.
Yeah, I said that on my podcast. So I had to make fun of myself, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got 3 legs, you've obviously got a tripod going on, innit? You must be able to run faster.
So I'd have been all right, mate. I'd have been running around normal.
What's that, Gaze?
I'd have been running around like normal. No one would have seen it.
The tablet would have been bigger than Jordan's. Who's your best mate in football then? Who would you say you're closest to?
Mate, do you know what? Yeah, I've got so many friends. It'll be hard for me to say, he's my best mate. I've just got good friends. I've made some good friends.
Yeah.
Do you all still keep in contact now?
Yeah,
still a close group.
We're all doing different things. Obviously, you've got some boys. Some of the boys are coaching. Some of the boys are doing media. But yeah, we're all trying to stay together. Obviously, you've got Mark Noble that I'm good friends with. That's West Ham club captain. Still got players and no players in the game. You know what I mean? And still playing. But obviously, I was tight. I was really tight with Ashley Cole, Jermain Defoe, Jermain Pennant, and John Fulton.
Yeah.
I've got some great. I've made this. It'll be hard for me to just say names, and Sean Wright Phillips is one of my good closest friends. I just spoke to him just before. But it'll be hard. It'll be bad for me to say he's my best mate. He's my best mate. So I'm just friends with everyone. Bobby Zamora, on air with. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's brilliant.
Everyone's close to me, man.
I once played against Bobby when he was. Well, in fact, I started off playing when he was at Brighton, and like you could see early on just how good he were.
Yeah.
And then obviously later on in my career, when he was at Fulham, and he was. I think he was underrated for how good he was.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what it is? I had him on my podcast the other day, and I didn't actually know that he's well travelled as a footballer. Do you know what I mean? At a younger age, even before he made it at Brighton, he was already going to other places, other teams, lower league teams, and learning his craft. And I think he come
through non-league as well.
Yeah. So he'd come. He's got a very interesting story for any youth player that wants to not give up. Do you know what I mean? And just hear someone else's story. And he's just a well-rounded person, and it's built him to the man he is today. And now you understand why he's like how he is. You know what I mean? Because he's very intelligent, and he's really on the ball, and he doesn't give up. He just got that personality. He's just inspirational, man. So I've got a lot of time for Bobby. A lot of time.
It's class. How did you find it when you moved up to Celtic?
Oh, mate. So
this is my favourite ever goal. My favourite goal.
Are we going to go
watching
goal, yeah? All right,
we were watching it beforehand.
Mate, that was... So, obviously, I've gone up to Celtic. I've gone late doors as well. I think I went in September or something like that. And,
what a massive club! Like, was that a?
Yeah,
was you an
eye opener? Because
I was going to say
Before that, I'd never even been up to Scotland. Do you know what I mean? Let alone going on the biggest team out there. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I saw the facilities. I got bought into it. Moved up there anyway. Signed. But when I first went there, I was training with the team. I was about to sign that week, and then I popped my calf, so I had to wait another extra month to get fit because they wouldn't sign me otherwise until I was fit. And then that was it just didn't start off well for me up there at the whole scenario. This wasn't a good scenario for me. But anyway, signed, and I was getting fit, and then obviously they took me up to I can't remember who it was against. It was at St Johnstone or Dundee or something like that. I don't know who my first goal was against, but if you want to call it a goal.
Inverness.
It was at Inverness, yeah. So it was up at Inverness, and the ball had come across. I took a baggy touch, rusty as hell. I've gone like to go and like try and get to it. I've been fouled, yeah. So it would have been a penalty, I think, anyway. But this geezer's fouled me. He's taken me out. The ball's still in front of me. And I think I've done a roly-poly or something, or flip. And then it's just come off my hand, yeah? And then it's trickled in like the worst goal ever in history of Scottish football. And but I couldn't claim it because it had to go down as an own goal. The reason why, because if I claimed it right there and then, people would have known that it came off my hand. Because that was the last part of my body it touched. So I didn't claim it. So it went down as an own goal.
I love them sort of goals, me. They're my favourites.
That's because they're the only ones that he scores.
Yeah, it was a comedy goal, mate. It was a comedy goal. Carlton-esque.
So obviously, like you you had 2 moves after that.
Yeah.
Like you said, Celtic, didn't really go as well as you wanted up there. And then you moved over to Sacramento Republic.
Okay, so when I was at Celtic, I got injured halfway through the season, and I'd done my knee. So I've done my meniscus in my knee, and now my season was over. And I think it was about February. I got a phone call from my agent at the time, and he said that someone wanted me to go over to the US in the USL league over there. I think it's the one division below.
One below, yeah.
Yeah, the MLS. And at that time, I think DJ Drogba was over in America. I think with I think it was Montreal Impact or something like that. And he'd actually done his training at this Sacramento club, Sacramento Republic. And then, so I phoned him. I said, "What is it like there?" And he says, "Yeah, it's a really good club and everything. The physios are really good." And that's all I was interested in, because I was looking to pack it in after I'd done my meniscus. So I was thinking, I don't want to play no more. I'm in pain all the time with my knee. Can't be arsed. Yeah. So I said, you know what? I've always wanted to go out in America and play, get paid to play. So I said, I might as well just go. So I went over there, and then they had I went over there for rehab purposes, really. But at the same time, I could play a few games and enjoy playing football again with no pressure. So that's why I went over there. And I enjoyed it. We had the manager over there, Paul Buckle, top man. Paul Buckle used to play over, I think, for Southampton when he was younger. And now he's like the manager over in, he was the manager over at Sacramento at the time. So I just knew he was an Englishman over there, so I could relate to him. And that was my journey over there. I had a great time over there, made some good friends. And I still got my friends out there today. San Francisco weren't too far away. So I got to go there like every other weekend. So I had a great time over there. So it was a great experience. So I'll never ever regret going there. So I really enjoyed it.
Because obviously after that you've ended up Indonesia. Did you say that?
Yeah. So I've come back from there.
2 big jumps, that, isn't it?
This is from a man that can't go past the Watford Gap without a nosebleed, by the way.
I was just thinking that.
If I'm going to go, I'm going to go. Yeah.
I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right. I'm not just going to go half measures. I'm going out of here, right? So that's a funny story. So I've obviously returned back from America, and I'm thinking, right, do you know what? I think I can actually play a little bit more now. The curtains are not shut. Let's have another dig. So I'm there open to suggestions. Obviously, I'm not getting many offers in because everyone knows about my knee. So I've said, all right, cool. I'm going to go to... I get a phone call from Michael Essien. And Michael Essien goes, Carlton, I'm over in Indonesia right now, in Jakarta. Do you fancy a trip? Do you fancy a little adventure? I could get you a good deal out here. I was like, really? Indonesia?
Michael Essien.
Michael Essien's out in Indonesia getting the deal. I was like, you're going to come out here, you're going to give you this much. I was like, really? He said, nah, basically, they just want your name. They want your name out. I was like, okay, cool. I'll come. So I've gone over. They paid first class flights for everything over there. I've gone over there, and it was like they just presented this whole scheme of what they wanted to do. So I was like, I fancy this. And gone over there. But when I went there, they showed me Jakarta. But the place...
It's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah. Jakarta's nice. But then where they showed me where I was going to play, Bandung, it was a totally different area. But it wasn't bad, but it was just a totally different area. So it wasn't Jakarta, like the hustle and bustle, had all the shops, the big shopping malls and all that. Bandung wasn't really like that. It was a bit of a smaller city, a bit slower. So I've gone over there. I was like, I've accepted it anyway, signed the deal. But what happened over there, they've got a system of dictatorship over there at the clubs. So you've got the chairman, the main guy that owns the club. Then you've got underneath him, then you've got the local guy that is the manager. Then underneath him, then you've got a coach. So the coach does the coaching from day to day. The manager might not know nothing about football, but he picks the team. Then you got then you got the main guy that owns it, but he brought us in. So he brought me and Essien in, and then didn't really tell the manager, the local guy that runs things, really. And it just didn't go down well with him because it used to be his club. So the guy bought him out. So it was like, you can't bring these stars in without my permission, kind of thing. So he wanted to get paid out of the deal. So that's why it didn't work. So there was just a kerfuffle that was going on with the order of law over there. So anyway, as I was trying to play, this guy wasn't actually giving me game time. So, and this is me and Michael Essien. We wasn't actually getting game time at the time. And with obviously, Michael Essien is a massive star, and we couldn't get going. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, if that's happening to Michael, I can't even complain either. Do you know what I mean? I only ended up in like 5 games out there, but they paid me my full contract. So I was like, okay. And I thought they wasn't going to pay, but they paid everything up. And I said, you know what? How about I give you some back, yeah, and I could go home. Do you know what I mean? And I've done that, and that's how I got home. But Michael Essien stayed there the whole duration of the time. He said, I'm not losing this money, mate. I'm staying out here, dude.
Blimey, that must have been a big culture shock, that.
Oh yeah, it was definitely different. Because prior to that, I'd seen Jermain Pennant. He'd gone to Singapore, which wasn't too far. So I was thinking, do you know what? Can't be that bad if Jermain's out there, because that geezer.
Different world.
You know what I mean? But he looked like he was enjoying himself. So I was thinking, I'll have a little bit of that as well. Do you know what I mean? It was either that or I was going to go India. So I said, I'll go Indonesia instead, because I think everyone was going India at the time. So I said, I'll just go Indonesia and do something a little bit different.
When I went to Thailand in the summer, I landed in Bangkok, and it took me about 4 days to even get my head around what was going on.
Oh,
it was
carnage,
I nearly come home after 2 days. I was like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
But then once I got my head around it, I was all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just about the initial thing, getting your head around it, because it's not what we're used to. We're used to being organised, you know what I mean? Whether even if it's messy, it's organised crime, do you know what I mean? You know what is what. But out there, it's just wild, wild west, mate. You don't know whether you're coming or going with some of these people. So it was a great experience. That's what I'm saying. It was a massive experience, great learning curve. Like, if someone was to ask me, like, I think there's a few players have asked me, what is it like out in Indonesia? They're thinking about going. And I'm like, listen, I've given the honest scope of it. And I said, if you can handle that, go. Because it's good money, decent money for you. But if you can't handle that, don't go, because you'll just end up wanting to come back home quicker.
I think places like that, and no disrespect, I think you've got to accept that the money's that good, because you've got to put up with quite a bit of crap as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not obviously as professional if you're coming from like the Premiership or the Championship. It's nowhere near going to be like, you know, like you said about the hierarchy and, you know.
No, it's totally different set up over there. So you just got to try and get your head around that. And they just make excuses if they don't play. They lie to you straight in your face. Like, it's just, and it's nothing personal to them, but it's just not in their culture, because they just don't get how we are over here. Do you know what I mean? But
what was the standard like?
Do you know what? They're quite good players, but obviously me and obviously in training, we're trying to teach them certain things, trying to coach them a little bit as well, how to play. Yeah. But they're just stuck in their ways. They don't really want to learn like that. They just want to do what they do, and it works for them over there. So we can't go over there and try and implement. They do want to improve, but our method doesn't work in their country. Do you know what I mean? So
it's got to be so hot as well, though.
Oh, I was struggling over there.
Surely they can't have the pressing game.
Yeah, took me a month to acclimatise. They got me a flat. And I said, no, I want a house. Then I said, I went to see the house what they've got me, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that, because I just saw lizards and everything in the garden. I was like, nah. And lizards come into your house and all that, and snakes are around. I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to the Hilton up the road. Luckily, they had a Hilton, and I just stayed in the Hilton a duration of time. I stayed in the Hilton.
Big time, you, Carlton. I tell you.
I had to. I wouldn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have lasted, mate. I had to go there because it was a Hilton, but there was like American people coming in. So that, at least I could go to the bar and have a conversation with somebody. Do you know what I mean? And then that's how I worked it out. And there's English people coming in as well, and the locals that actually could speak English were there too. So it was quite good to be in that environment.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
No.
And the Hilton's only about 30 quid a night over there.
Yeah. So it weren't bad. So it was good for me.
So after that, then when you come home, is that when you decided pack it in?
No, so
retire.
So when I came back, I was fit by then. I've obviously been out in the sun for ages. I've lost so much weight. I'm lean and mean, ready to mingle. You know what I mean? So I came back, and I live in South London. Do you know what I mean? I live do you know Cobham area?
I know London very well, mate.
I live in Surrey, basically. So the closest club to me at that time, still now, is AFC Wimbledon or Crystal Palace. I got a sniff from Crystal Palace when I came back, but I think it was Brighty that said no, he's too old now. So, but they were interested, funnily enough, and it was in the Premier League. But then I said, you know what, I'm going to go to AFC Wimbledon. They wanted me in to see me, so I went in and I was there for about a week and a half. But it was winter by then, and then I was thinking, wow, this is cold out here now, because I've just gone from one extreme to the other, and there was snow and all sorts going on. I said, I don't think I can handle this. So I spent like 2 weeks there getting fit, getting back up to the pace of things. And then there was one day it was just really cold, and on top of that, I had to take my kit because I've never ever had to wash my own kit, take it home and wash it. So all of this stuff, I didn't actually know this was going on, because I've been spoiled all my life. You know what I mean? So, I actually have been spoiled all my life. So then I realised, I was thinking, well, I've got to take my kit home, wash that, go out, and then go and train out and that, and pitches like concrete. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to retire after that. I just couldn't do it no more. So I was thinking, if I'm not going to play at this level, I've got to be all in or nothing. And my heart wasn't in, and I wouldn't be able to give my best for the club. So I just said, I'm going to retire. That's
got to give you like a newfound respect for them kind of players who get there and do the job every day and then move on to bigger, better things.
Yeah. Look, for me, I saw that, and it's like I just have so much admiration for the players that graft at that level. All like every day is a graft.
Yeah, not come to my level, Carlton.
But they probably don't even see it as a grafting. They see it as normal. So when you're coming back down the way, humbling yourself. I'm a humble guy anyway. Yeah, but the things that I've took for granted, that doesn't happen for you as you go down lower. It just, for me, I just couldn't do it. And at that age, I was thinking, do you know what? I can't be arsed with it no more. Let me just try and get a head start on my second life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I opted to do. Otherwise, I'd have done it if it was my only option. But I knew I've got a lot more to offer the world anyway. So let me just get out of the way of any youth player that's coming up, because all I'll be doing is just blocking somebody else coming through. Do you know what I mean? And
fair play, that, yeah.
And on top of that, my heart's not in it. So why am I going to be doing that? Yeah. And to take the club's money, I'm not doing that. So I just said, you know what? I'll take the hit, even if it's a little bit of, I'm not getting no income for a little bit. I'll take the hit, and then I'll just let the next one. I get some of those boys ringing me up now for advice and all that sort of thing. So I'd rather do that rather than be in his way and taking money from the club and my heart not being in it. So
yeah. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So what does the second life hold then for you? What's your aspirations now outside of football as a player?
Oh, so basically, obviously I do a load of media work. I just started up my podcast. Not competing with you, by the way. I basically do kind of the same format as we started with when I want to find out about the player's path to the top kind of thing, and just go into a little bit more depth on that and just show their mentality. So but we do it in a funny way. Like I'll just crack jokes up about myself, and I want them to tell locker room stories and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'll have a listen, definitely.
Yeah, it's a good listen. But then you got when I first start, because I got kind of, as I said in my earlier days, when I said that I got an epiphany when I found out that I had the responsibility for my family, for everything. Something happened to me with my agents. My agents kind of messed me up a little bit financially and all that sort of stuff. And I've always been trying to get back to it. But they set me a load back. So what I've been doing, so I said, I started an agency. I'm not an agent myself. I do the mentoring for this agency. I started it up with one of my mates that I know is very trustworthy, and he wanted to be in the game. He loves just being around football things or football people, and he's a great lad. So I kind of set him up with that. So I was helping him build that his brand up and that, and try to put him in the right places to go and get the best young kids, to try and look after them in the best and right way. But it was more not an agency, but it was more of a mentoring sort of platform for the boys. So that's what I started off with. But then obviously it goes into the so we've got an office in central London, but it goes into like the agency category for me. So I'm ringing up people, waiting on people's calls. That just wasn't me. Do you know what I mean? Being a full-time agent sort of thing. Although that I didn't have the license, and that's basically what I just kind of shunned away from. So I set that up, made sure that I'm doing the mentoring for the company, and then I just said, you know what, I'd rather go back into football and do some coaching. So I tried my hand at the coaching. I'm still in it. I'm enjoying it every day, and making sure that I'm mentoring kids. And what I'm doing right now is just for the kids, man. And for all of my experiences that I've done, if I don't give back, I just think it's a massive crime. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm just building up my whole portfolio just to make sure that the kids have a better future, and not go through all the dilemmas I went through and all the dodgy people that I had to go through to get to where I am today.
Yeah. Have you got aspirations of becoming a first team coach or a manager?
Yeah, of course. Eventually, yeah. But right now, I'm just learning, because if I'm going to do all of that stuff, so if I'm going to be doing coaching, if I'm going to do management, I've got to learn it thoroughly. I don't want to be coming in and then just getting one job and then coming out. I want to know what I'm doing. So that's why now, like today, before I was on here, I was doing a coaching course. Well, not a coaching course, a course. It's like a webinar with different sorts of people in the game. So the other week we had Gareth Southgate coming to do a talk for us. Like we've got loads of these players in there. John Terry, Ashley Cole's in there. So it's just a lot. There's about 40 of us in there that want to learn how to be a better coach, how to be a better manager, anything to do with football. We're just learning and listening to other people's stories, and that's how you learn. So I'm going on to my A badges, my badge. My A badge next. It's supposed to be this year, really, but I'm gonna have to wait, obviously now.
Yeah, it's gonna get pushed back.
Yeah, so in the meantime, while I get to that stage, I'm just doing a load of these webinars, making sure that I'm learning from other coaches. AD Buffroyd's in there, giving us all of experience, just learning from different. And it's a privilege for me to be involved in something like that, and a project like that, because it's only going to make me a bigger and better person at the end of it.
Yeah. So last question then. When you're a manager, if you could sign anyone, any defender that you've played against in the past, who would be the defender that who's the best defender you've faced?
Woo!
Good question, Jordan.
Yeah, it is.
It was tweeted at, weren't me?
The best defender I've faced got to be probably Vidic. Yeah, Vidic is definitely up there. Rio Ferdinand's up there. John Terry's up there. But yeah,
I tell you what.
I faced Jaap Stam once when I was young for Chelsea, right? And he was playing for Lazio, and we had a friendly out, and it was that same trip actually. The one
initiation.
Yeah, it was that same trip. So we played Lazio, and then I just remember, looking at this geezer. So I've come on the field and I've looked at Jaap Stam, and he was like, obviously the game was there, and then like the ball was over there, and then I just remember I was backing up into him, and then I turned around, and I just saw he had these piercing blue eyes, right? And bald head, and I just remembered his vein on the side of his head was vibrating. It was going boom boom, and I was like, "This geezer looks scary." Like, you know what he looked like? Yeah, let me tell you what this Jaap Stam looked like. You see, have you ever watched what's that thing with the White Walkers in? What's that series?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. He looks like the king of the white ball. I was thinking, this geezer is that scary, mate. His eyes are piercing like that. I was like, nah, this guy is not human, mate. So he was the scariest defender I've come up against. But he did it. He hit me a few times in that game, right? And like, I felt it, like really felt it in my bones.
Oh,
like, every
just
time
pure strength.
Go bang. Every time I touch the ball, bang. So I was like, nah, this guy is hard. But that's when I was young. But when I got older, obviously started to play against Vidic, Rio. Yeah, those two will actually stick out for me. And Carvalho, when I played, not Carvalho, what's his name? William Gallas, when I played against him again. I mean, Carvalho, how did I get them two mixed up? William Gallas, when I played against him, because he was hard, he was like, not hard, but he was a very intelligent player. But Rio's up there, John Terry and Vidic, I'll put them up there.
Carlton, so just to end it here, just from this podcast, just listening to the players who you played with at Chelsea, like the likes of Zola, Good Johnson, all the strikers then.
Crespo's been there, mate. Like, it's unreal, man. I've had a great experience.
Mate, unbelievable. And you've gone through the England ranks. You've had, played for the full England national team.
Should have scored as well.
Yeah, I know.
Cleared off the line.
X put me in, didn't he? Yeah, it was really bad, that.
Mate, just some of the names, like say you've mentioned there, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, Jaap Stam, like what a career you've had. Do you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
When you look back, right? I know I'm only little Carlton, right? But when I look back on, listen, I was never like the best player in like anywhere, but I've been amongst the best players. And then you see, and this is why, and they've all got a common trait about them, right? That's why I tell the young boys, like, you got Zola, humble. Do you know what I mean? You've got John Terry. If you know John Terry, very humble. Rio Ferdinand, humble, proper humble, down to earth. Rio Ferdinand's got time for everybody. Do you know what I mean? He'll never go. Yeah. He seems leery, but he's not. He's actually a humble person. You can have a chat with him at any stage. Everybody's got a common trait of being humble. I love Frank Lampard. Lamps is the most humblest person ever. Stevie Gerrard's humble. Everyone is humble. Obviously, you've got to have a certain amount of arrogance to be at the top for that long. But that's self-confidence, and that's when you go under the pitch. But usually, you've got this air of that's just air of confidence underneath a humbling person. Do you know? Yeah. So everybody that I've mentioned, they've got that. They've always got that humble aspect to their lives, and that's where I get my kind of things. So I'm like, if they're like that, who am I to be like leery or not give anybody?
I was going to say you come across like that.
Yeah. That's what I've learned.
Because towards you have been at the best level. Like I know the Prem, you've done it. But just talking to you.
Peter Crouch as well. Peter Crouch, same top. You just relate to him. Obviously, he's like one of the boys. You know what I mean? And I see myself in that sort of thing because Peter Crouch grew up around the area I grew up around as well, and we're just like that around that area anyway. But when you start to see all these superstars, and they're the same way, that just means that there's something behind that, and that's why they've made it. But at the same time, they know their direction and know where they're going. So that's what I've learned on my experience so far. And
Carlton,
I'm still learning.
Mate, well, from our point of view, you've been unbelievable. Like I say, like for you to come on and talk about the players in your career, and you're definitely, a humble guy to us. And
took us up a notch.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you for one favour, and he doesn't know that you're going to do this. I've got a godson.
Yeah,
just give a shout out. Just say to Danny Ashton.
Danny Ashton.
All
right. So, how you doing, Danny Ashton? How you doing, pal? Love
you, pal.
Respect you. Respect yourself.
Good lad. Hi, Carlton. From us, pal. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Class, mate. Thank you.
Mate.
Cheers, Jordan. Cheers, Kev.
Hope you and the family keep safe.
Yeah, so thank you, mate. Cheers.
Top man. Good luck in the future, mate.
Right up.
Ta-ra, pal.
Bye.